Time now for our morning rounds. This week we focus on one topic: epileptic seizures. According to the Epilepsy Foundation, around 48 of every 100,000 people will develop epilepsy. The condition tends to be more common among young children and older people, and the seizures can be debilitating.
But there is new hope thanks to advancements in science and technology. We're joined by CBS News chief medical correspondent Dr. Jon LaPook, who took a closer look at one of these developments. Good morning.
And good morning. Anti-seizure medication alone doesn't work well enough in about 1 of 3 people with epilepsy. And for the past 2 years, I've followed the journey of an extraordinary family who turned to a novel treatment.
11-year-old Isabella Ronaldo is a medical pioneer. At 18 months, she had her first epileptic seizure. At its worst, there were 5 or 6 a day.
She's had them so severe where they literally knock her off her feet.
Mom, Regina.
It's heartbreaking, it's sad. You know, you don't want to see your child confused and frightened.
Medications were failing to control the epilepsy when, 2 years ago, Isabella became the youngest person implanted with a kind of defibrillator for the brain called a neuropace.
There was no precedent for this in somebody her age. What was that like for you?
That was scary, and we said, all right, we know we're not going to rush into it. And then we had a really bad day, and we were back in the ER, and we said, we got to do this.
I can see the seizures building up, building up, building up, building up.
Dr. Stephen Wolf specializes in pediatric epilepsy at Mount Sinai Medical Center.
And we found that we were able to stop her seizures by stimulating it with electricity. So basically we were fighting fire with fire.
The device learns to recognize abnormal brainwave patterns that, left alone, would trigger a seizure. But by delivering a small shock within milliseconds, it normalizes brain activity and prevents the seizure. Before surgery, doctors make a map of the brain to pinpoint exactly where seizures occur.
It looks like she's about to have a seizure right now.
For Isabella, it's where hand and arm movements are controlled. During surgery, electrodes are placed at those sites. 1 month after surgery, the device is switched on.
You are now officially stimulating your brain.
We followed Isabella over the next 2 years as she was carefully monitored and the seizures became less frequent. We got an update from the Ronaldos this past fall.
We've been seizure-free for 6 months, and we actually started to wean one of her medications. Before, she was more subdued, tired. Now she is more alert. She's more energetic. She's more eager to try new things.
You can do karate, right?
And tap dance again.
I have to learn to let go a little bit more because I'm just so used to being all over her, waiting for something to happen. And, you know, sometimes I'll jump in and she'll be like, I'm 11, I can do it myself.
How is Mom feeling?
Mom's feeling proud.
Good for Mom. And how's Isabella feeling? She just turned 12.
She just turned 12 in March. I spoke to her mom yesterday, and, you know, when I last spoke to her mom, she said, you know, she's becoming a little sassy. So when I spoke to her yesterday, I said, is she still sassy? She said, yeah, she's still sassy, but you know what? She's earned it.
Yeah, sass is good. We like sass. You know, I think people in America might be surprised just how many people actually suffer from seizures. Do you think this really is a game changer?
Well, I think it's one piece of the puzzle. You have about 2/3 of people whose seizures are adequately controlled with medication. But then for the other third, it can be a real problem and devastating, especially if you're a kid, you're trying to fit in with your schoolmates and you're trying to have normal development. So for those other third, there's other things. There's a ketogenic diet. There's something called the vagus nerve stimulation. There's new medications that are being developed. But for the people for whom the medications, the diet doesn't work, this is a technological tour de force. And you think about it. I was in the operating room. You couldn't tell, right? I was behind the mask.
I recognize you there.
And I got to tell you, that moment when the doctor says, oh, there it is, it's about to happen. And then you can actually see the moment where the seizure is about to happen. And it's kind of like a defibrillator, right?
Yeah.
And it just is about to start, boom, it zaps it. And it stops it.
Seizure-free now she is for 6 months.
Well, what happened was I spoke to her mom yesterday. They tried to tape her. She was on 3 meds. They tried to tape her one of them. They stopped that one, and she got a few more seizures again. So they had to give just a little bit of it. But for the last 6 weeks, she's been seizure-free. And you know, she may need medication for the rest of her life, but if she's controlled, if her seizures are controlled, that would be amazing for her. And she's an extraordinary young woman.
Dr. Jon LaPook, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Great to see you.